Hi there, welcome to the video, the Dylan Rounds case. This is an update in the name of Dylan Rounds legacy and what's going on forwards. Supposedly live streams to expect, a new channel arising on YouTube which will conduct them in partnership with Candice Cooley. It might sound of interest to you. For a few more details, we'll be looking at them closely on the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page today. Welcome to those that are currently here in the live premiere. Be sure to share your thoughts, opinions and reactions in the chat. And for those that join late or on a different day, leave comments down below under the video. In addition, in the comment section pinned, you will see some additional links in regards to my channel if you wish to check them out. And top right corner of the screen, I symbol, clicking on that, there'll be some additional videos for you to watch and catch up on in case you missed out, such as last night, with a very in-depth, interesting analysis. Shout out to all the people that did appear on the night. Wasn't much disruption, wasn't much resistance. There was the odd few comments, person accusing me of being an abuser. Well, we know where that came from. And another person saying that you really like the sound of your own voice, which, to be honest, at times I do get bored watching my own videos because I'm watching them almost every single day, participating in the live chat. So I try and focus more on the chat at times than the video itself because I already know what's coming up because I'm the one that's recorded it, okay? But regardless, as for the video that I did last night, it was in relation to the Alex Easterling case. It was an analysis, it was a Warlight Ref video, the style of it, highlighting my predictions that were right once again, like usual. Feel free to check that video out when you do have time. A range of familiar faces showed up, originally from the Dylan Rounds community who went on over to the Alex Easterling case. So you get an idea of where everyone is at this moment in time. It can be helpful for you, so you know where to go or where not to go, right? There's no harm in at least pointing that out. But today, we're focused on Dylan Rounds. Said about a map analysis, but it's way too late in the day. It's really dark, it's really late, so non-negotiable at this moment in time. Some obstacles throughout the day, so it's just one of those things. But I'd rather do this because it is a relevant update to the case, well, in the name of the case, Dylan's legacy, and what could happen next. Because look, we're not seeing really any live streams, interviews, and if there's a new channel showing up, it could lead to possible interviews on Dylan's case in the future alongside other missing people, because it seems to be like teaming up with one another, right, with the different families out there. So let me know what you think about it, but we can go on to the Facebook page very shortly, and I think there's some additional posts as well, so we might as well acknowledge most of them. Anything else to highlight? If there's time later on in this video, might talk about the vulnerabilities of people when it comes to missing person, true crime cases. I looked back at the poll results and, you know, a fair few people have voted since the last time where it was only 7, this time about 35. And we can acknowledge that and I'll share with you my thoughts on the matter. But yeah, it might be a shorter video today, but there's no harm. I guess we'll just get straight into it now. We don't need to look at the comments because, you know, most have been answered already, I think. So let's just see what Candice Cooley has had to say and some of us on the page. Here we are on the Facebook page, scrolling on down. This is an old post, newest one, 10 minutes ago. Thoughts of Dylan when I came across his snowman. You will see, you know, Christmas post in the name of Dylan and looking back on the year. I don't know if there'll be a year in review of LE once again or searches conducted in general. I mean, we saw the one about the K9 deployment in Lucin, 2 of them, where they found stuff. 5th of December. Always on our minds and in our hearts. Be home soon. Sweet boy sending much love, support. So it's just like memory once again in Dylan. And then here's one of the first important ones. 16 hours ago. Come support Dylan Rounds' legacy as Candice Cooley and I, Jazz Girlson, or Jazz Mia, now known as, partner together to increase awareness for Alec Jaden Fishman. Alec Jaden was last seen September 28th, 2023 in Aurora, I think that's how you say it, Colorado. His phone last pinged in the Oakland, CA area. Together, hashtag let's find Alec Jaden, live tonight, 8 p.m. MST. Now, this was originally posted 16 hours ago. So, how long that would have been? Early hours of this morning, I think. So maybe, I'm just thinking a time zone difference. I'm sure you'll be able to work it out yourself because most people that watch this are from the US. But if there's a link somewhere to the actual channel, I'll try and provide it in the chat or in the comment section, right? Because you might be interested in this new missing person case. And if not that, but you're interested in what Candice Cooley has to say, or if there's any like interviews or panels, right, where they get involved, maybe it's something to look at. And I'm sure there'll be references to Dylan Rounds and maybe videos in the future over there. So there it is, Alec Jaden. You see the photo of him on the right. We chat with Jaden's mother about his case and how we can all help. Please join us. So it could be conducted by Candice Cooley or Jazz, or both at the same time, interviewing Jaden's mother. So this is an interesting shift, right? Because at least from the perspective of Candice Cooley in the past, who may have not have been too, happy about the YouTube platform, and especially Justin Rounds, of course, but branching out onto social media to spread the word and get the message across in the name of Dylan, now they've kind of transformed themselves. Besides, going on the likes of Doug's show to do an interview, they're doing their own, conducting of an interview. So that's interesting. Is that the Missing in America Network? So some of you will be familiar with Missing in America Network because we looked at that website which had the details of the Dylan Rounds timeline. So there you go. Then there should be another post. There's one by Candice Cooley there. Here we go. 6th of December, 21:57. Right, a couple of days ago or so. Click this. So this just gives a bit more explanation behind what's underway, right? It puts it into context about this live stream, the very first one on the channel. Okay. So Jazz says, this group is dedicated to justice for Dylan Rounds and will continue with the legacy to help other families, as we've seen before. Missing in America Network will forever be a part of Dylan's legacy and partner to do everything we can to help families in need. So you can clearly see it's a long-term thing. Jazz says, I'd like to take a moment and invite everyone in Dylan's group to join Missing in America Network to keep up to date and work we do for missing families. We have our very first live YouTube planned for Thursday at 8 p.m. MST in partnership with Candice Cooley. I'll put a link in the comments here. Right, so I guess it's already happened. Okay. But, people can always catch up on it and re-watch. I guess I'll have a brief look at it if possible. Right. Just check the comments briefly. I'm glad that the layout on the screen is working this time. It's all in proportion. This is amazing. Thank you all. Right. There we go. So we've got Ashley Easterling Martin, the mother of Alex Easterling, that missing person case. So you can see how families and other people out there are teaming up with one another. So when they, come together, they become stronger in a way, and those networks are formed. Ashley says, I will be there for sure. The support and resources that y'all provide to the families of the missing is absolutely amazing. I know for me personally, it has been a true gift, and I am so very grateful for everything. Scroll on down. Candice Cooley says, Jazz, Mia, it warms my heart knowing the others we will help in pairing these two organisations together. We want everyone to know we are a safe place. We stick to the facts in all cases we help with. We will never scrutinise a family reaching out for help no matter what the circumstances are. Please share. There are so many families out there that need help. We'll be doing everything we can within our means. Sometimes that it's just a friendly voice that understands. A little kindness goes a long way. And then down below, you can clearly see there is the link. Where's Alec Jaden, youtube.com. I know you can't click on the link right here, but I'll try and paste that link in the chat right now, but also in the comments section so you can check it out for future references, because I'm sure there'll be other missing person cases and interviews that will occur on that channel, and maybe even Dylan Rounds too if there's any updates. So that could be a useful hub for gaining information. Do you have anything else? Photos of the dogs from the previous post, what we've seen. Okay. So that's it for there. So here we are. I just thought it would be worth looking into it on screen here as for the channel, right? It's called Missing in America Network. Just so it becomes more familiar to you and what it looks like visually speaking. You got some short videos there, as you can see. A couple of them with, I guess, missing posters, raising awareness there. Videos date back to, 9 months ago, 1 year. And what's that to do with? Missing in America, Eliza Fletcher. Happy birthday, Dylan. Where's Bobby? And a couple of others 1 year ago. So this channel has been around for a bit, but I guess it's not been well known until now. And it's going to become more active. Playlist there, community page, 5 months ago. Okay. Where's the about section? You always change it around. Description: Missing in America Network, volunteer advocates for families of missing persons. We are volunteers, so everything we do is at will and at no cost to you. From creating eye-catching, informative flyers to managing the social media campaign and being your voice, we're here to help you so you can focus on the search. We can help by managing the Missing Person Online campaign. We have the ability to network with colleagues that advocate for missing persons in various ways, and we have the experience to develop and boost your campaign to spread awareness quickly. So it's like a hub for spreading awareness and helping families along the way. And they joined 26th of March 2022. Okay, interesting. Just try and click off that. What else do we have? You got the live there. He said, where is Alec Jaden Fishman? I will take a look at that. Is there anything else I've glanced over? Don't think so. There's a link there, missingamericannetwork.com, as we've seen, like a hub for it. What I'll just do quickly, just to, not to play the video, because I want to avoid copyright and all the messy stuff, as you know, but just so you know what it looks like visually, right? If people are interested to Candice Cooley appearing on YouTube with a YouTube channel and partnering up with the Facebook admin of Jazz Girlson that time, okay? Coming together on here. What does an example of a live stream look like, the visual layout? Let me share with you a screenshot right now. So what you're seeing on screen right now is a screenshot from the very first live stream conducted on the channel. And it's to do with Alec Jaden, as you see on the right hand side. Missing person, Colorado, Nevada, California. Now, the thing is, I think the live stream's about 45 minutes, reasonable length. There is a live chat and engagement there. I don't know about Q&As and stuff and people interacting in that sense. I didn't watch it completely. I just wanted to get a quick screenshot of it to present to you here. Okay. You see some photos of the missing person. As for the details, if you can't quite see on screen, don't worry, I'll read it out for you. So Alec Jaden, his age 28, his height 5'6", his weight 150 pounds, eye and hair colour both brown. The details of his disappearance. Alec Jaden was last seen on the 9th, 27th, 2023, leaving Las Vegas, Nevada, on an airplane bound for Denver, Colorado. He arrived in Denver and was last known to be at Econo Lodge, Denver, 15900 East 40th Avenue, Aurora, Colorado. On the 9th, 28th, 2023, the 3 areas of interest he may be seen are Aurora, Colorado, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Oakland, California. And then in very tiny text, it reads, he has several tattoos as pictured above, Joshua 19 on right forearm, ship in a bottle on left ankle, lettering on chest, and lettering with a fish on his shoulder, not pictured. Okay. And then there's the phone number to contact the Las Vegas Metro Police Department. Now, I do remember a thing or two about Las Vegas Metro Police Department because that's the same police department that let down the sister-in-law of Kenny Veach. Kenny Veach being a missing individual since November the 10th, 2014 onwards in the Mojave Deserts, a case that I've been covering for quite some time. The Metro Police Department treated the Kenny Veach case as a cold case and dropped it very quickly. And despite evidence along the way being presented to them and the sister-in-law to Kenny Veach calling them, she's been turned down at times. So it's kind of unfortunate. Now, are the Las Vegas Metro Police Department incompetent elsewhere? I don't know, but I guess time will tell. I just wanted to add in some input from my own experience when looking at other cases, okay? Now, the most important part, on the left-hand side of the screen, I don't know if it's through YouTube live stream or maybe it's more so, StreamYard? Basically, the StreamYard, what just about everybody else uses when they do the live streams, as you've seen with all the familiar names in the Dylan Rounds case, the Kylie Rodney case, the, all the ones you can think of, the Idaho 4 one, Zav Girls, Tyler Feller, Doug at one point, and Vegas Girl, many others. So on the left, you got Jazz, Missing in America Network. Jazz is the admin from the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page. You got Candice, also known as Candice Cooley, the mother of Dylan Rounds. And then at the very bottom, Tammy, I'm not sure if that's the mother of Alec Jaden. I said I didn't watch the video, but I do know that they said that the live stream will consist of an interview with the mother, right? So maybe it is the person on screen there, unless they invited other guests on later on into the show. But in terms of the format and the layout of this and how it probably will be going on in the future, it'll be quite familiar to most people out there with the live streams you have watched when it comes to StreamYard, okay? So it might be of interest to you. I just wanted to share it in general. So as you can see, statistically speaking, when you look at the channel itself, it's in its early days. Even though it's been around for some time, about a year ago, it's still its developmental stage. Once more live streams come out and videos and people hear about it, I'm sure more people will gather and it will grow and become maybe a very important place. Just wanted to share it to you so you can check it out for yourself. You might be interested. You might want to see a different side to Candice Cooley and how she treats others and how she might ask people questions or show an understanding towards others. Instead of it always being her being questioned, such as in the Dylan Rounds case, it's kind of like the reverse way round. So I don't know, it's just something different, right? And the other reason why I point it out and why it's relevant to Dylan Rounds' case is because of Dylan Rounds' legacy, and there can always be a reference to future updates, right? So even if people were thinking, oh, I don't want to be watching any more videos of Candice Cooley or this live stream, which they're all a part of, I don't want anything to do with it. But if you do want stuff to do with updates, you want to hear about possible future updates of Dylan Rounds, that will probably be a good channel to go to, right? Because of the key people being present. And people could say, well, prove it. How do you know there'll be updates there? I mean, there's been the odd Dylan Rounds reference on the channel already when it said, happy birthday, Dylan, or, when you look on the channel, it was to do with Dylan Rounds. So there's always been a bit of focus there. I know there was a another channel called Dylan Rounds Legacy, where all live streams and stuff in the name of Dylan was going to be collected and conducted in one place. And that was going to be run by Doug. No thanks. But that channel got terminated along with the others because of all the mess stuff going on there. I don't know if Candice Cooley is still in contact with Doug or any of that. Who knows? Or maybe things did go downhill quickly. You never know what goes on behind the scenes, behind closed doors, right? But movement has gone on forwards. Candice Cooley has stepped up with others along the way onto the YouTube platform. I'll be honest with you, if certain type of people hear about this news, I've got a bad feeling, okay? Just remember, do you know when I make predictions and things can happen? What I do understand and what I do sense is majority of people on my channel already. Some may be interested, others may be thinking, I don't want to go anywhere near that new YouTube channel. I understand, but I'm also confident that most of the people on my channel are not going to cause any trouble over there, which is, to be acknowledged. But in terms of the darker forces, as some of you will be aware of, what are they going to do? Are they going to try and infiltrate that new channel? Are they going to try and purposely cause disruption? It could be like a Salty Pancakes Kaylee motivated, driven attack on someone like Kaylee, which then disrupts the Alex Easterling case. So if there's anyone out there which has a vendetta, a grudge against Candice Cooley, like some do, are they going to coordinate, plan something as like an attack towards that fresh channel and cause, disruption in the chat or, all kinds of bad things? Could very well happen. I'm sure it might be heavily moderated anyway over on that YouTube channel, but I don't know. You've seen how people react badly to when other YouTubers have stepped up in terms of moving in a direction of a new case or suddenly implementing a members only page or paywall locked videos or having a Cash App link onto the channel. I can't remember which order it was. Which way round was it? I don't know if it was Salty Pancakes first or Lance Kelly. One had a Cash App, PayPal, whatever, up on their page. The other person was saying, how could that person do it? It's all money driven and motivated. It disgusts me. Months later, they do the same exact thing, right? Could be one of those where someone goes into a certain direction which they haven't done before, and then that raises the eyebrows as others out there who can't stand that individual. And they might do as much as they can to disrupt it. Just making my predictions right now, okay? I said that channel won't be literally all about Dylan Rounds, but if there's people that might have grudges with certain people on that channel, I don't know, they might cause trouble, which kind of would be unfortunate because, I don't know, I don't think it would be necessary. Some kind of coordinated attack over there. But I just don't make these predictions because they've happened before. And if people can avoid them, plan around it, then that's a good thing, right? Now, just move on briefly to that other discussion where I was going to be talking about the vulnerability of people in missing person cases in general, true crime or not. Who's most vulnerable? Well, in terms of the stats, I said in terms of the Dylan Rounds case, how many people are vulnerable or prone to becoming brainwashed? 35 votes, or is it 75% said 100% of people can be brainwashed or manipulated or just vulnerable, when in the Dylan Rounds case, there was, what was it now, 16% or higher that voted 75%. And then the rest of the options were much lower in votes, percentage-wise, right? So it seems like, you call it the majority? It's not on a true sample scale because not enough people voted, but I'll just briefly say it still remains at the majority choosing 100%. That would imply that 100% of people in the Dylan Rounds case are vulnerable or are prone to becoming brainwashed. So that would also include me. Yeah, it seems a bit silly, doesn't it? But it's just how people were voting. Maybe people were thinking excluding myself and just everybody else. If so, then I would understand. I would understand that. It's like it comes down to two forms of vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities to being led down a rabbit hole of misinformation and BS and believing in it in the first place, right? Maybe they convinced you very well, how they presented the information, how they were around you, they might have been nice and understanding. You get dragged into it, you get led down a long pathway. Eventually, you may find out it was a load of rubbish, nonsense, but then you lost. You got to try and figure your way out and learn about the truth once again. It's a long process and it can be damaging to some people maybe. But then, besides that vulnerability, the other vulnerability is repeating the same action, the same mistake, going round and round in circles. You know, you've already been made a fool of, and yet you keep on doing it. You keep on believing in the BS from other channels out there, round in circles, not getting anywhere, right? So that's a level of vulnerability people have within them, and we've clearly seen it with time, such as on Bob Farrell's channel, such as on Salty Pancake's channel, that vulnerability of being controlled and brainwashed and really believing in it, believing in their leader and their master, and doing whatever it takes to show support and honour. It's happened. At times, people have managed to break away, but it's the damage they have caused and contributed at a point in time that has been acknowledged. Okay? Kind of unfortunate, but it can happen. What is the other vulnerability? Well, besides learning about information or people telling you to think a certain way as a viewer, an audience member, the other vulnerability is more so those directly within the case. So it'll be family members, it'll be the friends that are associated with a missing individual. It can happen at different times. It varies on the individual or people caught up in a case like it, right? I'd say that the longer a case goes on for, the more desperate people become, family members and friends, where it gets to the point where they'll do whatever it takes to try and find a resolve, find the truth, find their missing loved one. It might lead to reaching out to the odd dodgy contact, which may have already happened previously with some private investigators and in other states and countries, right? It can happen. It's like with people that might be trying to find a job here, there, or find a second or third job because they're struggling with money, but it's so bad. They've tried as best as they can and it's still not working out. So desperate times, desperate measures, they end up reaching out to a dodgy contact in the background, and then bang, they're suddenly dealing illegal substances, and then maybe they get in trouble down the line and face the consequences, right? Desperate times can make people take drastic action, right? It can lead to them either getting in trouble or them being hurt in some way. And when it comes to a missing person case, can tend to get hurt more so and backfires on them if they may have reached out to someone in hope of support and help, and then they've been left high and dry at a point in time. And then it's like, well, what are we to do now? It damages personal trust with contacts out there, harder to trust others, harder to reach out for help when you are a bit cautious as to could it go wrong again. So psychological issues there, or a bit of wear and tear on the mind at least. And sometimes financially, if you have reached out, offering reward money. Someone's come forth with information, maybe you gave the reward money out too soon. They took it and ran, and it was misinformation. And then you've lost money as well as a missing loved one. Or maybe you've given money to a private investigator and the private investigator did a poor job or half-hearted attempts, and that's it. It's come to an end. You've lost money and you've still not found the missing loved one. So vulnerabilities there. And that can happen as time goes on for as long as the person's missing. But I guess it might even happen in the early stages of a case. If someone is very proactive and they want to, solve the situation as soon as possible if they're that type of individual or group. They might reach out to the correct authorities first of all. But then if third-party groups and authorities mess up, as we may have seen previously, early on, and resources fail too, maybe it's the area you're in or the country, you might become very vulnerable early on. That sense and feeling of, well, I've tried reaching out for help the right way about it, and even they can't help or failed. So what am I supposed to do now? And then you might reach out to some dodgy contacts. So it can happen short term, long term. I think it might happen more long term, right? But yeah. And in terms of the repeat mistakes made, I can't quite comment on it from the family or friends' point of view of a missing individual. But I've not really seen countless mistakes made in a cycle, at least like with the Dylan Rounds situation, or maybe the Ashley Martin one, or the Christine Passay Parker one, or maybe Kenny Veach, because not much has happened there with the family. So not really seen a cycle there, but I've always seen a cycle when it comes to the conflict and drama situation and scenario, right? So linking back to the audience vulnerability as an audience member on any platform, when you may listen in to someone or some people and you get dragged on in, and that repetitive cycle, it tends to happen more there where people keep making the same mistake. But it doesn't just apply to learning about a case and information told by a corrupt individual online or so. It can also be the drama and conflict scenario just so happens to be tied up in a case and community, but it's got nothing to do with the actual case, but it's got everything to do with disagreements and third-party falling outs. You get dragged in or not, and you're going through that cycle of the tussling forwards and backwards and arguments and calling out, maybe being hurt physically, maybe being threatened, and it becomes very wearing and draining. And if you do manage to escape or you're spat out onto the streets, not literally, it's, do you pick yourself up, move on in the right direction, or do you fall back in place and you go for it all again? Or maybe you go elsewhere to a different community, but you're still vulnerable and you go through the same exact cycle as what you did previously. That pain, that suffering, that wear and tear, that energy being drained, right? It can happen. It most definitely has happened in the Dylan Browns community and then expanded outwards elsewhere. And it's still happening to this day. People may fall out and then make up afterwards, and then fall out and then make up afterwards, then break apart, then form together again, then break apart and then form their own mini groups. It might start off very simple, but once it branches out, it becomes very intricate with time, for as long as the conflict goes on for. And you will get people trapped within these bubbles, going round and round in circles, right? And as I said, if you're a creator, a person making the videos, you might be more distracted by sticking to what you do on a regular basis instead of engaging within all of the mess. And as I've always said, you can engage in the mess in a controlled way. Just don't let it consume you too much, right? That's why I say audience members tend to be more vulnerable and prone to being attacked or getting involved in stuff and becoming trapped. I don't want to go too deep there because I've kind of already touched upon more of that and the reasons and why and how with conflict and drama. Previous videos already discussed that. I just wanted to add in this conversation because I said I was previously, so I thought I'd tie it in now. And I guess it ties in with the whole cases and families out there. So once again, to summarise, if you are interested in Candice Cooley, Jazz Gerson, Dylan Rounds' case and legacy, a new YouTube channel, new interviews with other missing persons, families, cases out there, learn about stuff, and maybe Dylan Rounds every now and then if there's any updates. There'll be a link down below in the comment section, maybe in the pinned one or as a separate one somewhere. You'll be able to find it, and maybe in the description too, if you want to check it out. And yeah, we'll see what happens next. Is there any predictions to be made? I'm sure there'll be a couple of posts on the Find Dylan Rounds Facebook page acknowledging Dylan, maybe some additional photos and memories of his life with the parents and stuff, and probably, going into the new year, that type of acknowledgement as we've seen. As for true updates, I don't think so. Around about now, I don't think so. As for that new DNA evidence that was found, and possibly a second piece of new DNA evidence as well by the dogs, I don't know if that will be identified anytime soon, or if it'll be for the future. I'm not quite sure of that new DNA evidence, which, you know, if results came back from the lab already, I guess it's not treated as discovery evidence. If, you know, Canis Cully said, if Dylan's wallet was already found by now, it would be treated as discovery evidence and presented to the general public. So I guess that has not been found, so it must be another item or two. But the question is, when will they pop up or be explained? Will it be in court documents? Will it be the preliminary hearing of Brenner, the 15th, 16th and 17th of May, I think, 2024. For correct dates, it'll be available elsewhere on previous videos and on the Facebook page. But that's it for now. Just want to present to you this little update, an important one to say the least, because of the limited time I had tonight. The live premiere of this you'll already know because it's on at a certain time, but I'll probably set it to how I did last night. It had a better flow. But what it may mean is I wasn't present much in the live chat tonight. And that's just simply because, you know, the timing of when I have been doing it at 10:20 p.m. UK time, like an hour on from now or something. Well, yeah, kind of. It was done later because for the last 2-3 weeks, there's been like a new TV show on, and I wanted to watch it because I've always neglected it in the past because of doing this. So I just wanted to, you know, get a bit of balance in. Besides doing YouTube, do other stuff too, even if it's quite simple. But once the show has finished by the end of this week or so, the videos will resume back to normal time. Maybe they've already have resumed back to normal time, but as a heads up, if you don't see me in the live chat or you don't see much of me, it's because I'm still watching the TV show, right? Because I can't be in two places at once. I did try last night for the first hour or so, okay? But I'm not able to interact the same way on mobile because it's limited. I can't respond directly, okay? But I did go onto the PC later and engage that way. And there was a decent concurrent rate of viewers consistently, about 40 or 46, which is good. There was a bit of drop off later on, as to be expected by some, but it was reasonable and controlled once again. So maybe to an extent tonight, it's reasonable as well. Hopefully you found the video interesting, you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. If in between now and then, I'm not in the live chat that much, but there are super chats or gifted memberships, I'll definitely make sure to replay the live chat later, and then I can do an individual community post on my channel page acknowledging anyone that has given any super chats, super stickers, or gifted memberships. So if I don't see it immediately, I will acknowledge it afterwards, okay? So that's it for now. Goodbye, and I'll see you next time.